want to improve your FPL performance this season? Use fantasyfootballfix.com to apply artificial intelligence and Opta stats to your FPL squad to maximize your points returns every game week. We have over 20 unique tools and features, including FPL price change predictor, squad optimizer, and full Opta stats with custom heat maps and predicted points. Click the link below and upload your FPL squad into fantasyfootballfix.com now. Premier League football returns this Friday night, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the much anticipated updated FPLtips team selection for Game Week 1. Before we get started, if you'd like to join the FPLtips mini league, the information is on screen now. Following his transfer to Watford, Ben Foster makes the team for Game Week 1, and the intention is to rotate the former West Brom goalkeeper with Lucas Fabianski of West Ham. Across the first 4 game weeks, that pairing provides a run of home fixtures against Brighton, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace and Wolves. He's currently doubtful, having picked up a knock in Man United's last pre-season game, but Eric Bailly is likely to make the team providing Jose Mourinho gives him the all clear. Man United kept more clean sheets than any other Premier League side last season, and begin the campaign with fixtures against Leicester, Brighton and Burnley across the first 4 game weeks. Benjamin Mendy returned to the Man City starting lineup for their 2-0 Community Shield win last weekend, after being sidelined for most of last season with injury. If the France international can put together a run of games, he looks set to offer potential at both ends of the field, with Man City having conceded the fewest goals during their 2017-18 title-winning campaign. Liverpool fullback Andy Robertson keeps his place from the first draft team. The Scotland international's average of 5 points per match last season was on par with Phil Jones and Marcos Alonso, and no defender could better the trio. A hamstring injury saw Sadio Mane miss a handful of games last season, but in 29 appearances he was directly involved in 18 league goals, scoring 10 times and producing 8 assists. He joins last season's top point scorer and current highest owned player, Mohamed Salah, for Liverpool's kind run of opening fixtures, which will see them host West Ham and Brighton. If you've seen the recent Players to Watch episode, it will come as no surprise to see Everton's new signing Richarlison in the team. Each of his 13 FPL involvements last season came while Marco Silva was in charge of Watford, between Game Week 1 and Game Week 24. And Richarlison's 59 efforts from inside the box during that time was second only to Mohamed Salah, amongst midfielders. Finally, there's also a place for Lucas Moura in midfield, as a very short-term punt. The Spurs man has enjoyed a promising pre-season, producing 4 goals and 2 assists, and looks likely to feature in Pochettino's starting lineup early on, given the amount of players lacking fitness or sidelined with injury. There's 0.5 million left in the bank at the moment, with the intention of selling Lucas Moura to Aaron Ramsey from Game Week 3 onwards. The key dilemma up front will be whether to include Wilfried Zaha or Marko Arnautovic in this Game Week 1 team, with each of the former FPL midfielders having been reclassified as forwards this time around. Both displayed good form in the second half of last season, and they've each enjoyed successful pre-seasons, but perhaps worryingly, Manuel Pellegrini has hinted that Chicharito is part of his plans. With that in mind, along with some tricky opening fixtures for West Ham in the first 3 game weeks, it's the Crystal Palace man who makes the team for now. There is of course a place for Man City's Sergio Aguero, after he announced his return with a brace against Chelsea in the Community Shield. The Argentine's average of 6.8 points per match last season was top amongst forwards, demonstrating his value even in spite of competition from Gabriel Jesus. Following Bournemouth's impressive 5-2 win over Marseille in their recent friendly, where Josh King stood out as one of the key performers, the Norwegian keeps his place from the first draft team. Amongst budget forwards, priced at 7 million or less, King's tally of 12 FPL involvements last season was beaten by only Perez, Zaha and Arnautovic. Home fixtures against Cardiff and Everton in the opening 3 game weeks look promising for Bournemouth, and there's perhaps the potential of moving King on to Arnautovic for Game Week 4, when West Ham host Wolves. Alongside West Ham's Lucas Fabianski on the bench, the 3 players have been chosen for their cheap price tags and potential to start games. Priced at 4.5 million, Morgan Schneiderlin is key to Everton's central midfield. And while he's unlikely to deliver many attacking returns, he should get a steady string of 2-pointers, which makes him ideal for a bench player. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been favoured ahead of Joel Ward throughout pre-season, and looks set to feature plenty for Crystal Palace next season, while Cardiff's Lee Peltier also provides a cheap starting defender for cover from the bench. In terms of a captaincy choice for Game Week 1, is there even a decision to make? Mohamed Salah's season gets underway with a home encounter against West Ham, a side that conceded the most goals in the Premier League last season, along with Stoke. And it would take a brave manager to bet against the Egypt international on the opening weekend.